Hi and welcome, I'm Susan, and today we're going to cook something that is one of my husband's favorites. That's sausage with spaghetti squash. Easy recipe, great taste, and I'll take you along with us. As you see over here, I have cooked a spaghetti squash already. And I did this beforehand because it takes an hour to cook this. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, can you, Will? Okay, good. So that's cooked and ready to roll. Now, you'll have to excuse the noise of this little cooktop. We're going to take, I happen to have a pound here of hot Italian sausage. Now you can use sweet Italian if you want. It's just a personal preference of ours to use hot. I'm going to get this cooked up. This is really quite a simple dish, and it's very flavorful, and it's a good way to get squash into your kids. Just tell them it's spaghetti. Not that they'll believe you, but you can try. So, I hope things have been going well for you. We've had quite a snowstorm here in northern Minnesota for the past few days, but it's stopped now, and we are thawing out, and hopefully that's the last snow of the season, since tomorrow is Good Friday. You know, there's something about snow on Easter that just doesn't set well, at least with me. I like springtime when it comes to Easter. I guess, like everything else, we'll take what we get. We don't have any choice in the matter. So, okay, this is coming along nicely. You guys will have to let me know, do you cook a lot on the holidays, or do you go to your in-laws, or your parents' house, or do you eat out? A lot of people eat out on holidays, I understand. I don't particularly like that, probably because I like to cook. And my husband doesn't like to eat out a whole lot. We are going to get this moving here. I'm going to add a quarter of a cup of diced red onion. Now I use red onion because it's not quite as bitey. I guess that's a cooking term, isn't it? Bitey. As a white onion. You could also, if you wanted to, in this recipe, use shallots. Quarter cup of diced shallots. Well, we're getting it brown here. Takes a little while. In the meantime, I've got 2 cloves of garlic I'm going to mince. Put them in this little mincer and see what we get here. Wow, I guess I'm just not as strong as I used to be. But that's okay. We got it in there. With the other one. There we go. I wish you could smell it. It smells so good. Our little beagle's running around here, Tilly May. She just had supper herself. She got to eat before Mom and Dad got to eat tonight. We have been busy all day painting. And that's always fun, you know it. Actually, I like picking out the colors, not so much painting. So we had a gentleman came in. He started painting the upstairs. And the first room to paint was one of the bathrooms upstairs. We had a gentleman that lives in the area here that does painting. His name is Lee, and he is Norwegian for sure. In fact, he had lunch with us and offered us our meal blessing in Norwegian. course, I didn't understand it, but it was beautiful. It was quite lyrical. Okay, now we're going to turn this down a little. Let it brown. You know, there's not a whole lot of grease in there, so I'm not worried about it. I'm going to add a quarter of a teaspoon of black pepper. And I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of salt. This sausage has enough salt in it. Now, I am going to do a teaspoon and a half of za'atar. Now, za'atar is a Middle Eastern spice. If you don't have za'atar on your shelf, you can use, actually you can use Italian seasoning. Let me see, za'atar. I wrote a note here what za'atar was. Thyme, sumac, sesame seeds, oregano, salt, and margarine. So, you can use any kind of seasoning, really. Italian seasoning will work just fine. Now I've got a 28-ounce can of fresh tomatoes, and I'm going to throw these in here. I smell the goodness already. Put this over in the sink. Wipe my hands out here. Now we're going to stir this up. Get this going. Those were Cento tomatoes, by the way. They're a good quality canned tomato if you don't have your own. And a lot of times we have our own tomatoes, just not right now. I'm going to move this out of the way because I want to show you something here. We've got the spaghetti squash. Because we're going to shred this squash and we're going to put it in our sausage and tomato mixture. Let's turn it up a little. So let's get that going. Grab a couple forks here. I'm going to start shredding the squash. This is all I do. It's just take a fork and start shredding. I don't know if you've never had spaghetti squash before. It's really good. In fact, there are times where we use it for actual spaghetti instead of the pasta. Take a few minutes here and get her going. Look at that. So this is how you do spaghetti squash. And it just comes right off in these strands. There we go. Get to where we can put this one in the pot. Warm yet, but we're going to try to get it all in there. Ooh, doesn't that look good? Now we're going to turn this down. I'm going to turn this down just a tad. And we're going to shred the other one. This doesn't take long. What takes the longest is cooking it in the oven for about an hour, because it is squash and it does take a long time to cook. We'll get this going quickly here. I love squash. Any kind, really. Doesn't matter to me. Spaghetti squash, acorn squash. There's butternut squash is always a good one. Decotta. They've got some really strange ones on the market these days that I I just look at them and wonder what you do with them. Okay, so there we have it. Now, I'm going to put this down in here. Get it mixed up. Mixed up real good. Look at this. Oh. See, now when you look at that, with the sauce, it does look like spaghetti. And I think this is a good way to get squash into your kids. Or into any member of your family that may not like. I don't like squash. How many times have you heard that from your kids? So now, I'm going to get that heated. Move this over. We're going to add some cheese to this. Of course, it wouldn't be a good looking tomato dish without cheese. Now I've got 3/4 of a cup of shredded mozzarella. I'm going to put that in there. Sprinkle that on in. And I've got 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. Put that in there. Now we're going to mix this together. That cheese is going to get in there and melt, and oh my golly, it's going to be so good. Oh, I'm flipping the stuff out of the pan. Won't that be nice? So, I'll tell you what, we're going to have to dish this up and then cool it for a couple of minutes before we can even taste it, because it is boiling hot right now. So I'm going to grab a bowl and put some in, and I'm going to cool it for a few minutes while I move the squash rinds off the counter. Let me grab a bowl here. Oh my. Grab us a tasting fork. Look at this. The cheese in there. And the tomatoes and the squash. Make sure we get a lot of squash in here. There we go. Look at that steam. That is hot, hot, hot. We don't want to eat that right now. I'm going to have to let it cool for a few minutes, and we'll be back in a second. Here's the end product. Put a little parsley on there. A little garnish. We're going to taste it. Oh my gosh, it looks good. I can smell the garlic. Ooh. And the hot Italian sausage. Mmm. Mmm. Now this is a meal. Serve this with a side salad, green salad. Your whole family would enjoy this. It's a good way to get people to eat squash instead of spaghetti. Until next time, blessings to you and your family.